Hey everyone, this is Mike with Confused IT. In this video, I'm going to go over how to install Rocky Linux. We're going to go over what the installation process looks like. Rocky Linux is very similar to Red Hat. It's 100% bug compatible with Red Hat Linux. It's very similar to CentOS as well. If you've installed either of those, the installation process should be very similar to that. So we'll go over here to I'll boot up a VM here that I have, booting to the ISO, the installation ISO. And so we'll see the first option that it boots up to is to install Rocky Linux or use this as test media, test the media and then install Rocky Linux. So I'm going to do that one. This is basically just going to confirm that the ISO is all there. It is what it's supposed to be. There's nothing missing. It wasn't written to flash driving correctly or however you burned it to an item. It'll go through and check that first. And we can see it doing the check down there at the bottom. This is the same screens you would see if you were to, again, write this to a flash drive and boot to it, or if you're going to install it via like a virtual machine and you're going to mount the ISO, which is what I'm doing here. Both processes are the same. This is exactly what you would see either way. And I believe this is version 8.5, which currently I think is the newest version that's out right now of Rocky Linux. All right, so this is the welcome screen. You're going to go ahead and pick your language and your keyboard layout. I believe that's what one of these is, the English, United States, and then our keyboard layout's up here if we have to change that. So we'll go ahead and press continue. All right, so now we're going to go through our, again, we got the same settings here, keyboard, language support, date and time. This is actually correct for me. I'm not sure if it pulled it over my internet connection or if it just, that's kind of what it defaults to. So pick your date and time here, and then down here, it's kind of hidden, but there's actually an option further down for user creation. So you can set a root password and then also create a user. I believe one of these obviously has to be completed, otherwise no user accounts will be on the system. So I'm going to go ahead and set a root password. And let's see here. Passwords do not match. Let's try that again. Oops. Nope, can't go back. All right. Okay. Set the root password, and then no user will be created. I'll leave that out of there. If I want to create a user, I'll create it later. But for now, at least we'll have the root account set up. Next thing is under the installation source. This is local media. This doesn't really have to be changed at all. This is going to pull from the local ISO that's there, the one that you booted off of. Software installation. We can come through here and kind of pick what we want. We can go with server, minimal and basic, minimal install, or custom one, and you can kind of choose the packages here that you want. I usually go with a server one. That's kind of what this is intended to be. I don't need SMB or NFS shares. Let's see what else we got in here. I don't need a desktop. If you wanted to have a visual desktop, GNOME will be one of the ways to go here. You can have a mail server set up, network file system client, network servers, performance tools. I do like the remote management for Linux. I usually turn that on. And let's see what else we got in here. Graphical administrative tools, don't need anything graphical. Headless management. Tools for security. Yeah, that's usually pretty much everything I need here. So if you see anything in here that you might need for your environment, feel free to check it off and add it to your install. All of these things can traditionally be added after the fact as well. This is just sort of have it automatically installed at the during the installation process, but you can usually go back and add the packages later after the install is complete. So next thing is installation destination. This is going to be where you're going to put it. I only have one disk attached right now. It's a virtual disk, and I'm just going to let that do the automatic configuration. I don't need any extra additional space available, so I'll leave that alone. I don't need an encryption on this VM, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and hit done. This should go back. Okay, yep, we're good there. KDump, it's a logs on by default. You can leave that alone. Go to network and host. This is going to be where our network is. I recommend setting this up now You could set it up later. It's definitely easier with a visual interface, and it's also good for, it'll pull down updates and things usually during the installation process, which is great. So we'll go ahead and turn that on. And for me, this should have pulled this pulled DHCP for me. If you didn't, you can go to configure, and you can go to, you can go to the IPv4 settings, and you can switch DHCP to a manual, and you can fill out your address information here. Go ahead and add a network address, a netmask, a gateway, DNS server, search domains, and then you should be all set. So we'll go out of here, put this back to DHCP. This is just a test VM, so I'm going to leave it as DHCP for now. Actually, I'll set it statically just so you can see what it looks like. Manual 50, let's go with 25, 24. There's your gateway. It's 5. Just gonna check and see what our DNS server is in here. Yes, it's 5. Okay, 5. Web.local is our search domain. I'm gonna hit save, and this should say I'm still connected. All looks good, and we'll give this a name of ma-lab-linux.lab.local. Go ahead and apply that. There's our host name, and we'll hit done. All right, so now we got network set up. Security policy is another thing that you can set up. It's optional for the most part. It's if you have a certain security requirement, you can just enable these preset configurations, and it'll go ahead and lock it down to a certain degree. For my testing, I usually just leave it empty, but if you had any certain security requirements, definitely check these out and go ahead and apply them. And I'm going to go ahead and hit begin installation. This is going to run through the installation process now, and then at the end it'll ask us to reboot the system, and that'll pretty much be it. Once it comes back online, it'll be ready to go as a fresh Linux system, and you can go ahead and start installing your packages and configuring the OS to how you like it or whatever your needs are for there. So I'll pause the video here and I'll wait until this is done loading, and I'll pick it up when it's done. Alright, so the install just finished. I'm going to go ahead and press the reboot system button here. Normally at this point as well, you would kind of remove your installation media, just so that you make sure you don't reboot back up to that again. And here we are. This is the login screen for Rocky Linux 8.5. At this point, we're going to use that root login that we created before. And we're in. And this is, first thing you might want to do is do an update command, so dnf update or yum update. And yeah, it'll go through and start the updates on this server. And you can pretty much start getting to start using it right away. This is basically the end of the process. This is how you install Rocky Linux 8.5. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Our website has some resources that you might find useful as well. Confused IT is a non-for-profit organization ran by IT professionals. Our mission is to make IT knowledge more accessible and easier to digest. Thanks for watching.